Hello, good evening everybody, or good afternoon wherever you are. Today we have a match-up between Baratheon and Stark. Baratheon is Marek Kuzminski, might have butchered the name, sorry if I butchered the name, against chrissie, playing Stark, Knights of the Hollow Hill. Again, Marek Baratheon, the Mummer's Farce. Oh, this will be fun. So we have, Stark Knights of the Hollow Hill is generally quite aggressive, with lots of resets maybe, certainly lots of aggressive kill effects. And Baratheon, Mummers, has lots of chuds which like to die. I'm sorry if you can hear a baby screaming in the background. She decided dinner is not the right thing tonight. She's throwing her cutlery around and generally just doesn't want to eat. Pardon me. Right, setup then. Well, we have a patch phase, we have a High Garden Jester, and we have a double duped Anguy the Archer. 5 card setup, which is nice, 6 gold. Chrissy setup was even better, of nothing. Of course, we all know the downside of Knights of the Hollow Hill, no setup, which means you only get to see 7 cards of your deck before you start the game. 2 big downsides. Let's have a quick look at the Mummer's Farce. Any non-loyal full character of Mother faction can be in this deck. After a full character you control stands, attach the top card of your deck to it as a weapon attachment with the text terminal. Attached character gets +1 strength. And yeah, and Marek can marshal or play face down cards under the fall as if they were in his hand. You have another fall on the board, Shagwell. So if you played the Maiden as his opener, and he's also playing King's Road, so you can have some initiative, I wouldn't say advantage, but some initiative strength. But of course Chris has initiative improvements too. And we have gold on each one of those characters. So this is relevant. We've had unbridled generosity to do that. It's relevant because Shagwell will get keywords from any of these characters. In fact, every fool will get the same keyword. So there's a lot of things to keep track of here. So Patchface is going to have keywords. Patchface is getting icon, thanks to Shagwell mainly. High Garden Jester insight, so I mean all these fools have insight. All we're missing here is Florian and John Queel to make Anguy fall. Bolton Flayers. Okay, so Chris has started, he just put out 3 characters and a reducer. He's put out the Bolton Flayers, which is going to do some work if it stays alive. Harwin also, he can just jump into a challenge by spending his 1 gold. And these are both non-loyal characters, so you can jump into a challenge that either of these ones are participating in without kneeling, so that's pretty nice. And also the Begging Brother with 1 gold bestowed. So there's only one thing that could be cancelled. So Marco has saved 1 gold and not used his King's Road, whether that because he's holding back for some sort of trick or in case there's some reset, or whether he has nothing to spend it on, I do not know. So a military for 6, which cannot be fully defended, I don't think. So we have Harwin defending for 3. Looks like we're waiting on someone to pass the action window. So I mean, looking at the board, I don't think Marco would be holding back cards purely on the basis that 3 of his fools have insight. Perhaps he does have Florian and John Keel. Oh, we have Florian and John Keel played. So Angai's got Renown. So what's happened here? Attach character gains a Fool and Knight trait. He's had to discard Warhammer. What? I'm unsure as to why this has happened. So maybe someone better than me can explain. So Angai got... We played Florian and John Keel to Angai got Renown. Florian and John Keel got attached to Angai and gained the Fallen Knight traits, but then was forced to discard it due to being that and Warhammer due to be invalidly attached. Well, I'm not really sure what happened. Anyway, Marek, it didn't mean he lost the challenge. Of course, if Chris had defended with a Flair and then Harwin and then this happened, he would have lost the challenge. That would have been significant. But anyway, so Marek has drawn a card of Insight on Shagwell. Angai and Shagwell both got Renown, which was why he played the event. Shagwell gets it. So Marek gone for all the challenges. Chris defending this one. I'm pretty sure he's going to go for Intrigue. He does go for Intrigue. He goes for the Intrigue and then he's going to let the Flair kill Angai because it cannot be saved. Begging Brother not doing work yet, but there's still rounds for that to happen. Thank Miha in the chat. Shagwell is giving them no attachment as well. So you're going to have to help me, you know. Harwin had no attachment to Warhorse and he had a gold on him. This is so complicated that I'm glad a better player than me managed to point that out. That's a very interesting interaction. I'm pretty sure I would never have clocked that in a real life game. But we all know my distaste for having gold on multiple cards. So thank you guys. Thank Eugene and Miha. You officially get a little shout out. And Marco is also asking the question that we've just asked in the chat. I'll let you guys let him know. Why no attachments when standing? That is also interesting. Because they are still fools. And I'm not sure how to very confusing. So there is there are no attachments except whatever's on the board. There's no reason why these guys wouldn't have an attachment. And even if they did, wouldn't they get the attachment and then it fell off? Thinks it stayed until the round's end. Let's have a look at Florian and John Keel. Until the end of the phase. Then attach Florian and John Keel and attachment to Fall and Nitrates. Oh, I just don't know. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Didn't he skip accidentally? You can't, I don't think. It's a forced reaction, so it's not an optional thing. Right, well that's all very confusing. God, I hate this mama's fast agenda. Right, what do we have? A change of information we have. There's some interesting cards here. Milk, Delana Florence, so they're combating Stark Stand, Nightmares, Hollow Hill. We have Sir Dontos Hollard, another Fool. Motley. Motley's an interesting one as well. I do like this. The attached character gets the Fool trait. Very good. Yeah, so Chris gives Marco, or Marek, Shagwell, knowing that he can't be saved from the Bolton Flare. Hollow Hill, Motley and Unbridled Generosity, so a 4-card exchange, that seems no. Could make a difference. He should have had 3 more cards at his disposal. Yes, we don't know why he doesn't. Considering it's a forced reaction, it's not exactly optional. Although, if Marek is playing the Fool's deck, I don't see what the Fools are going to do against the Bolton Flare. That just seems really rough. So all those attachments will be going away. No attachment except Warhorse. That's correct. Which shouldn't be to the end of the round as far as I'm aware. Looking at this. Fallen Nitrates. So no attachment except Warhorse, which is why it fell off. But yeah, there is no attachment except Warhorse at the moment. Okay, we're getting a character out that costs more than 3. It's Sir Davos. Fairly nice to soak up military claim. Less nice when you have no economy on your backboard to replay him. And the thing I don't like about playing against Hollow Hill is that when you marshal and you think you're doing okay, then your opponent collects 8 gold. And you realise they've just got resources to burn. Okay, last half scouts. Not sure what these Barra jumper decks are, but we're playing around it nonetheless. Saving 1 gold, which can be a recurring Greywater watch. Bran, in case of any events. Marek has no gold. And Willa. Yeah, that's a decent board. When you have 2 boards full of 4 cost or lower characters. This looks pretty good. Unbridled Generosity. What keyword does he want? I don't think there's many to have. The stealth is probably the one that he might want, but he's not a fool. But he's going to give him the gold. Doesn't want shadow too. Pardon me. Okay, so Marek is the first player. You have to think military isn't going to do a lot, but they do all have stealth. So what challenge would you like to win? I think intrigue is probably the most impactful at this time. Now all these fools have insight, but what Marek really needs is some economy. The more economy on his backboard, I'm sure, would be delightful. Maybe he has a high economy plot to play out this abundance of cards. And to my eyes, I think he should have 3 extra card playable underneath those fools. I don't see why he shouldn't have. So yeah, we have a military, which can win if he uses the Greywater Watch. He could oppose with the flare and then bring in the scout. They could bring in anyone. Could bring in Bran. I'll also have the plot, yeah. Chris keeps his board intact. Right, power challenge. Theoretical question. Shagwell and unbuoyed generosity on a character with a shadows keyword. Can you use poisoned coin then? I don't see why you couldn't. I think poisoned coin, the requisite has to be winning unopposed with a character with the shadows keyword. So I would believe that would work. Chris decides to let Marek win the power challenge. So he's racing into a 5-0 lead. And just like in the last round, I think Chris will probably prioritise intrigue and power challenges. And Marek prioritises intrigue himself. He can see Chris is low in the hand. Doesn't know if Chris has a draw plot. So a solid strategy. So we're not letting it go unopposed, it seems. In fact, we're going to win it. Likes these 2 cards in hand. So Greywater Watch showing its power there. Bringing in a character that doesn't have the intrigue icon, and then the plot, bringing in the extra character. And he's going for intrigue himself, Chris is. Given the amount of cards that Marek can have, he can have a Hollow Hill trigger, which is probably the most commonly missed trigger in the history of the game online. Winter is coming for 2 claim intrigue. So Shagwell's dead now, which means the keyword sharing around has gone. The Patchface does still have intrigue. Not intrigue, I mean insight. So it's working now. Not sure why it did not before. It might prove to be a problem toward the end of the game. So we have Valar D, which is nice for Marek. He doesn't lose any of his board. Chris will have to lose 2 characters. Do you think he will lose the Bran and the Willa? I suspect he will want to keep the Bolton Flare around. Siege prep by Chris, which is, I imagine, lovely. Because he's going to draw back up into a hand of 7, and he's probably going to try and play out the 3 cards he has going into marshalling. Marek collects 4. The gold has been a problem for the Baratheon player. He's not well endowed with money. With money. Do we have Jingled Bell? When he is killed, you can basically find a Fool or a House Frey character. Search your entire deck, which is nice on a 1-cost character. But then you do have to play Fools and House Frey characters, which is less nice. Unless you like this agenda, of course. So we're seeing card being marshalled from under Patch Faith, an economy card. Probably necessary, however much he doesn't want to relinquish board presence. Can't sustain board presence if he doesn't have an economic back row. And we're boosting Patch Faith's strength with a Warhammer. So Chris only has 3 cards to play. So just a straight up Marshal or Bilbone. That faction card doesn't do anything important for the agenda. He chooses to bring Greywater Watch out of Shadows and Marshal Shaggy Dog and Old Bilbone rather than the 3rd card in hand. So if it's that bad, he'll probably hope it goes to Intrigue Claim and then he'll draw a fresh 7 cards. I wonder if he will remember his siege preparation. Did Marek remember his Hollow Hill? He did. He added the Jingle Bell to his hand then. Good work, Marek. Okay, Intrigue for 5. Oh God, does this... So Patchface has insight. Great. He doesn't have insight. Okay, I think I've got it. I think I've finally got it. I'm going to forget it. Right, jump block by Chris. Probably the card that will die to a military challenge. Unless he really wants to defend it. He can Greywater Watch. He can Greywater Watch multiple times. He does not want to defend it. Summer. Yeah, well, you can see why he didn't play it. Harwin's not summerable. He has nothing summerable. So that would be a waste of a summer. Not that I believe the Mummers will be playing Valar Morghulis. Pardon me. I'm sorry, I am exceptionally coffee today. So power for 2 with Marek. It's going to be hard for the Mummers to chew through the start board. So Marek is going all out with the challenges. So I suppose the theory behind that is if Chris is defending them, there's less to attack me on the reverse. And this seems to be true, so Chris can only do 2 challenges back. So now the bottom player, there's no dupe character to kill, so the bottom player will kill 2 characters now. And one of them is going to be Jingle Bell. So of course Marek sacrifices the High Garden Jester, knowing that the bottom player can only target Jingle Bell. Intrigue gets rid of Sodontos. And Jingle Bell's gonna die. We still haven't seen the Begging Brother Gold cancel anything. I guess that's going to be saved for Davos. No, it's going to be saved for Jingle Bell. Just as I say that, Chris proves me wrong. I guess he thinks Marek not playing Valar Morghulis and Chris doesn't intend to play his if he's running it anytime soon. So we have the Hollow Hill searching for Gendry. Chris remembers his siege preparation. Wow, this is how you can tell you've got 2 good players playing the game. They remember the impossible to remember triggers. Hollow Hill never gets remembered online. And siege prep, I always get the sorry I misclicked. Alright, Marco does have a big economy plot, so he can play out some impactful cards now. Into Chrissy's marched. Now Chris marches old Bill Bone. So it'll be interesting to see if Marco marshals anything that's going to die to the Flayer. Or at the moment his 3-cost characters are safe because Shaggy Dog is on the board. We have a duped Gendry. You're not wrong, Mia. If one person triggered Hollow Hill and the other person still forgot siege preparation, that is probably a big crime. A Warhammer on Gendry, the dream. This is good. But yeah, Gendry can buff himself basically with his own reaction. So he will gain renown and +2 strength. And with intimidate as well. Seems nice. So Marek's now got a little bit of power behind his attacks. He does not marshal a 2-cost or 1-cost character, which means unless Shaggy Dog dies, which if Marek does a military challenge, I suspect might. And now we've got an Ice and Ire. Crikey. And Reek. Oh my. That did not look good. Well, the unfortunate thing for Marek is that he has 14 strength of military. Chris has more. But not only that, he has Grey Water Watch, so anything that Davos does can still come into the challenge. So 14. So I mean, Chris can defend for 5, 8, 12, 15. Marek does have 2 gold, so it might be wise to be cautious. Of course, the Intimidate is something that you might not want to let happen. Chris has decided to go for it. So Grey Water Watch does add She-Bear. There's no privileged position. We have an ice to kill Gendry because Arya is still standing. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was ideal. Because going in for military for 14, knowing that your opponent can defend for 15 and not having a backup plan, you know, you'd have to think maybe you're trying to bluff Chris into thinking he had a privileged position for the Grey Water Watch or something along those lines. Lady Stoneheart discarded for intrigue claim. It looks like the Stark player is in control now. Until, of course, the Mummers reveal Valar Morghulis. I think that's the only thing that might save it. It looks like Shaggy Dog is going to die. Reek dying. That's a nice target for Summer, isn't it? Renly added to hand with the Hollow Hill. Hollow Hill is a really nice source of draw. You know, and if Chris didn't have the Bolton Flayers, an entirely different game. Much harder to get those fools off the board. Political disaster into the Smith. So disaster not actually going to do anything of note. Marek will save the Hollow Hill and keep the 2 economy location. He has no attachment to use for his own plot, the Smith. Maybe he'll marshal one, but even then, Chris is the first player. Don't think Chris is going to have many locations worth kneeling if he is running political disaster and his economy is set with the agenda. Summer and Reek. And we have a hard marshalling of Reek, saving 2 gold. One could be for Grey Water Watch, but he'll bring that out after the marshalling phase, because otherwise an attachment could come out and have it knelt. Of course, last half scouts is the other reason he's just hard marshalling weak. Marek has some economy. He could put out 10 gold worth of characters or do 10 gold worth of stuff. Renly with a Warhammer, so he can put characters into play. Probably most of his deck, I imagine. Most characters that are there except any Baratheon ones. Going in for power. Is it with Davos with stealth? Is it not? He does have the Grey Water Watch that can be used. Nope, cancels the power. Probably wise to do a military first. Or even intrigue if you want to force the Renly trigger. Such a fun game to watch. Yeah. Probably not a fun game to be a Barra player in. Probably much more fun for Stark. Stahl Hard. Not a big fan of design team cards. Most of them are too condition heavy, which is ironic because Sweet Sleep does not have the condition trait. So that's amusing. It seems impossible to win a game without them in the current meta. Starlek accepts colour copies of these cards. I do not know. You'll probably have to ask on the Tourney of Starlek page. I myself have just had the card printed out, so I have not had any reason to ask. But we do have a very nice balanced game at the moment. I do enjoy coming back to this game after the last year or so, 3 months ago, coming back to the game. I feel like the game is fairly balanced. Greyjoy have risen a little bit recently, but that won't be forever. There's just so many viable builds. So last half scouts doing some more work there. Marek using Renly outside of an action window. Chris can't seem to decide what challenges he's doing this phase. Cancelled a power challenge, he's cancelled a military challenge. A dead Shagwell, taken for intrigue claim. I guess the problem with the Jester is bringing it in. Obviously, it's going to save a little bit for claim, but unfortunately, what it does mean is Reek is actually unopposed with a House Bolton character. So Renly has defected to the seemingly winning side. Damn. I haven't read it well. Not many people do until they get reeked by a Bolton flare. Yes, they can be a difficult combination to work around. Yes, sorry, Star Hard. Yeah, I understand. I was just being pedantic, I suppose. Mind you, Reek is a design team card, which I absolutely love. It's fantastic. As you get these little play with the Bolton Flare, winning a challenge, giving Reek away to the opponent. Yeah, it's just something beautiful and thematic about it. I do like quite a lot of the design team card myself, but I appreciate some people may not. It may not be your cup of tea. I'm beginning to think the Mummers do not have another reset. I can't see why they would want to, really. But we'll see. Mira goes to reserve. What the point in blanking opposition characters when they don't have any? Could be the thought. Alright, is there any way back? The first snow of winter. Of course, Chrissy is nicely placed. He has 3-4 cost or higher. Summer comes back to hand, which is nice. Marco doesn't have a great deal of money with which to put a board up, so I think this could be game over. Especially seeing as Chris has stolen Davos and Renly. So it looks like it could be a win for Stark. 1-0 against Baratheon. Plenty of games happening towards the end of this week. More Stark and Baratheon games. I myself played Dennis on Sunday morning. Dennis is quite a popular rush player, it seems, so I wonder if he's going to play Baratheon a rush deck against me. But then I think he had been playing some Neil decks. Conclave, maybe I saw him play. Yeah, luckily, Miha's channel, ODRL, he has 10 games of Dennis Luke throughout the last year or two, which I have now watched just to get the lowdown on dinner. And yeah, like playing Rush. Good information to have. Right, we have the first Snow Lady Stoneheart. Yeah, I can't imagine she's going to hang around too long. But Marek is going to play this out. I mean, the ice on the last half scout seems completely unnecessary. Power for 3 coming in from Lady Stoneheart. So will there be a block by Renly for the renown? There will. And then unopposed military, unopposed power and power claim will win the game. Yeah, he's not going to play Stark Crossing, I'll tell you that. No, I might. Avenge me against Dennis Luke. Okay, Paul, I will try. I will bring all of my anti-rush tech. What is Russian Baratheon? Probably that sick cloth bob, right? He seemed a bit rushy. Mirror Reed blanking the last half scout. Just so Renly can put Jane Poole into play. Very nice. He really wants to go all in as many challenges as possible. He's having so much fun. That is gross. Stormland's fiefdom taking the power of Renly to put it on his own faction card because it is its owner. Which is nice for fickle bannermen and cards like that, which are generally the ones that get traded. But this is a nice edge case where a card becomes more useful than initially intended. And Stark have won, which is 1-0. Congratulations to Chris Mewson. Commiseration for Marek. You fought well, but unfortunately it was not to be on this occasion. And that brings the end to my coverage. Thank you for watching and goodbye. Maybe I will stream another game later if I am allowed. We shall see. Thanks very much. Goodbye.